There were 132 combat clashes along the front line. Defense forces are holding back the assaults, repelling enemy attacks. The fiercest battles today took place in the Pokrovsk, Kostiantynivka, southern Slobozhansky, and Oleksandrivka directions. Sloviansk and Kramatorsk suffered airstrikes, and the communities of Yerkiv, Brusky, and Bobilivka in Sumy region were affected. More details in our report.
In the Vovchansk direction, the 4-post brigade border guards repelled a massive Russian assault. The occupiers advanced not only on foot but also on motorcycles and several MTLBs. Our FPV drones and strike UAVs destroyed enemy equipment. Drone pilots from the Kartia brigade hunted Russian robotic systems. They stopped everyone that came into view. In the Kupiansk sector, the Burovy brigade continues to destroy Russian occupiers. There is less greenery, fog settles in, and our soldiers use every feature of autumn to their advantage. And operators of the 8th Special Operations Forces Regiment disrupted the enemy's advance. Thanks to a strike by the assault group, the Russians were driven into buildings, after which a sweep was carried out.
In order to
Luhansk region, the fighters of the 412th Regiment are holding the line. Together with the aerial reconnaissance unit of the border guards, they destroyed a rare enemy electronic warfare station called Rebzhitel. It can jam ground radio communications at the range of up to 25 kilometers and for aerial vehicles up to 50 kilometers. Near Karpivka in Donetsk region, fighters of the 3rd Assault Brigade cleared enemy positions. The Russians failed to hold the landing even despite hitting the vehicle with our assault group and counterattacking with drones. The fighters lured the occupiers out of their ambush, captured a prisoner, and forced the enemy to retreat.
surrender, come out with your hands up.
Alone? Yes. Are you wounded? Just a little.
In the Lyman direction, the Russians are amassing personnel and from time to time assault the positions of the 66th Mechanized Brigade. As soon as weather conditions make it difficult to use drones in the sky, the enemy immediately becomes more active on the ground. The Signum unit destroyed the enemy FP's shelter of the pilots from which they operated drones via fiber optic cable, after confirming the coordinates, a precise strike. We also caught up with the motorcycle the operators tried to escape on. The defense of Chasiv Yar continues. The soldiers of the 24th Mechanized Brigade, named after King Danilo, together with their brothers-in-arms from adjacent units, repelled a Russian assault. They destroyed motorcycles, armored vehicles, and enemy personnel. In the Kramatorsk sector, units of the 5th Assault Brigade disabled an enemy tank. Reconnaissance worked precisely in tandem with drone operators. In the Kostiantynivka sector, mobile fire teams of the Predator Brigade are clearing the sky of aerial threats. The video shows the destruction of FPishkas and Molnia.
Hey there, my friend!
Taking advantage of worsening weather, the invaders tried to capture Kostiantynivka. Heavy armored vehicles were brought in. The Phoenix border guards did not allow the intruders to advance. First with FPishkas and then with heavy bombers, they finished off the tanks, armored vehicles, and a cannon. The defenders of Pokrovsk destroyed an enemy combat NRK equipped with an automatic grenade launcher for the first time. Pilots from the 32nd Mechanized Brigade struck the target on a tracked platform. This is a selection showcasing the precise and effective work of the Black Raven fighters in the Pokrovsk area. Burned out equipment, infantry losses, and the repelling of a massive mechanized assault that the enemy unsuccessfully attempted to carry out. Reporting on the bravery of our fighters, Tetiana Litvin, Inter details on the United News Marathon.
Minus 1,020 Russian occupiers in the past day, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the Russian army has lost a total of 1,011,390 soldiers. Our defenders have destroyed 11,241 tanks, 23,325 armored combat vehicles, 33,534 artillery systems, 1,517 multiple launch rocket systems, and 1,225 air defense units. They have also shot down 427 airplanes, 346 helicopters, 68,293 drones, and 3,841 cruise missiles. 28 ships and 1 submarine have been eliminated, as well as more than 63,000 special vehicles. The immune system of the country, that's what the hero of our next story calls the Ukrainian army. He is a combat medic, and his story is featured in our joint report with colleagues from the Armed Forces of Ukraine Media Center.
This is what the daily life of combat medics on the front line looks like. They always have to work in extreme conditions.
Almost every single time I went out, there were always wounded individuals with significant leg injuries who simply couldn't walk on their own 2 feet. So I had to carry them out and provide them with the necessary immediate first aid assistance.
Alexander has saved many lives. He has been defending Ukraine for over a year.
A combat medic is just like any other soldier, except that he also carries a specialized medical backpack, fully equipped for immediate care. I was involved in spiritual activities, but decided to become a combat medic, to save the lives of my comrades and also to provide moral support. Because when you evacuate a wounded comrade from the battlefield, you also need to prepare him mentally.
Who are you talking about?
You know, you're always up to something cool. Here.
We're all truly like one big supportive family here. As the old saying goes, in the darkest of times you truly begin to see the brightest and most resilient people. It genuinely makes me incredibly happy and deeply moved to witness how, even in the most difficult and challenging situations, people consistently come together and actively help each other to effectively stop the enemy's advances.
Behind this seemingly emotionless appearance, there are actually a lot of worries, both for my comrades and for my family.
When you're left without communication for a month or two at your position, you worry less about yourself and more about how your loved ones are worrying about you. You just want to somehow reassure them. I don't know how they're doing, what's going on with them.
The command doesn't forget about the work of such defenders either. Recently, the combat medic received another award from the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky.
I received the Golden Cross. This is already my third award. I was honorably awarded for my dedicated defense of Ukraine, receiving the esteemed Path of Honor, and now, in this moment, this significant Golden Cross. I truly believe I simply did what any other brave individual, just like myself, would have undoubtedly done in such circumstances. The absolute best reward is when you finally come home and lovingly reassure your cherished loved ones.
However, the fighter says he is ready to keep working. The mission remains unchanged, to help the people of Ukraine.
I'm not truly engaged in a fight. Rather, I am steadfastly defending my cherished land and my beloved loved ones. My primary and most crucial task is to effectively stop these relentless invaders, who, in my considered opinion, and to employ a precise medical term, are profoundly sick because they have demonstrably never learned to properly control their tumultuous emotions. And these powerful emotions invariably take complete control over them, manifesting as destructive forces like insatiable greed, overwhelming envy, and unchecked aggression. They are greedy. Nothing is ever enough for them. They always want more and more. That's why I believe that, in a way, I'm treating them with this. They have chosen the wrong path, and I stand in their way.
Anatoly Zhuravlev, Alexander Ksenzuk, details from Intermarathon TV channel, the only news.
In Donetsk region, there are once again casualties and injuries among civilians. This morning, the Russian army dropped 3 aerial bombs on Slovyansk. As a result, 7 people were injured. There was 1 fatality in Kostiantynivka. There, a Russian drone killed a woman. Overall, Russian drones have turned the sky over Kostiantynivka into a continuous strike zone. The road to the city is littered with burned-out vehicles, and every trip is now a real lottery. How do the assault troops of the Carpathian Sich Battalion fight under such conditions, and how do civilians survive? An exclusive report by Ruslan Smeshchuk.
Our attack helicopters are in the sky. Yes, 20 singers. And there are also many enemy drones and wrecked cars on the roadside. This is the road to Kostiantynivka, which the Russians are advancing on. Just a month ago, I drove along this road and it was relatively safe back then. But now, on both the left and right sides, there are a great many cars that have been completely burned by drones all around, constantly like an intricate web. Numerous optical wires are hanging everywhere, and the total number of destroyed pillboxes has significantly increased. This particular road is no longer safe for travel or passage.
The residents of Kostiantynivka already say that for them, this is the road of life, the one they use to get to the city for groceries and to travel for work. Such a
road of life, but also of death. Together with the fighters of the 49th Assault Battalion Carpathian Sich, We move along the route used for rotation into the city. Soon, we hide the car. From here, it's safer to go on foot.
This is the designated route, and we will move along it and report back. We report at this point on the route, then at the other checkpoints. At this end we report, and on the way back we do the same, so that they know where we are and that everything is fine with us.
The air is constantly shaken by explosions, and all around are traces of enemy drones' activity. Here are the remains of an enemy drone, the optical window. There, shining, is the RPG-7 warhead that was attached to the drone. We drive in a convoy, keeping distance from each other. It's safer that way. Soon, over an open area, a Russian FPV drone hovers above us and then starts circling. We take cover behind the trees. Our escorts start shooting at the drone, and a fire team of soldiers is now being positioned along the roads to protect the logistics. We actually saw the drone, it circled here, and they tried to shoot it down. Now it has flown off in another direction. We keep moving forward. As soon as you find yourself having to conceal your position from an FPV drone, you immediately begin to truly appreciate the protective cover offered by dense bushes, towering trees, and what we commonly refer to as the green, the natural verdant foliage. However, in just a single month, my dear Victor, all these precious leaves will inevitably fall away, and this critical kill zone will unfortunately become even more dangerously exposed and deadly. The situation in the Kostiantynivka direction was tense, but in the last week it has significantly worsened, the guys say.
Of course, the enemy's forces that were here before have increased. They gathered their strength, brought all their summer reserves to this direction. As we said, it was going to be, just as we said, it's the hottest spot, but what's hottest here is the fiber optic drones. They take control of the sky, and because of that, they control the airspace and control. The buffer zone is very large at the moment. It's not just 5 kilometers anymore, it's already hard to get through there, and now you can see for yourself what the situation is like.
The scene around is surreal. Everything is rumbling, drones are flying, destroyed vehicles line the roads, and amid all this, civilians occasionally appear. This is the main street of Kostiantynivka Lomonosov Avenue. Now it is completely destroyed. There are almost no people, but nevertheless you still come across the occasional civilian. Explosions are constantly heard and drones fly by from time to time. That's the situation here at the moment. Moving under the cover of buildings. This is what most courtyards in Kostiantynivka look like now. Damaged buildings without electricity, gas or water, and in some apartments people still live. Some have already signed up for evacuation and are waiting to be taken out, while others have no intention of leaving at all.
We are planning to evacuate. I have to take care of all the sick people. Of course, that ties my hands and feet. Otherwise, my husband and I are pensioners. We would have left, of course. Now I have the opportunity to separate him. He is on the first floor and I am on the second floor. He screams, he doesn't talk, he just screams. And if I go somewhere, then we have to go together in the village. And I can't put him in a home.
Not with our money. You can't pay for him. A pension of 3,300 is not enough to evacuate anywhere. It's not scary. How can I put it? People have gotten used to it. A person is someone who gets used to everything.
The situation is even worse near Kostiantynivka, where enemy assault troops are trying to break through our defenses. This soldier spent 2 months at the positions. And only recently were my 2 wounded comrades and I able to get out of the encircled area.
We walked from evening till morning. It was 12 or 13 kilometers. I managed to make it.
Well,
there were already people there, so I had to pass through carefully. That is, through the positions. Half of the area was mined, even the bridges were mined. The fields were mined too, so it was really difficult to get out.
Now the man faces treatment and recovery. Under such conditions, the soldiers of the 49th Assault Battalion, Carpathian Sich and other Defense Force units are fighting for Kostiantynivka. From the Eastern Front, Ruslan Smaishchuk, Vadim Revon and Ihor Chepet. More details on Kanalinda.